Welcome back to another episode of the Purple Pain Podcast. Once again, welcome back to another episode of the Purple Rain, also known as the Purple Pain Podcast. The 149th episode. The Chris Board, the Brandon Copeland, I see the Julian Stanford, Josh Bynes' rookie year, Ryan Collins, and Chad Williams episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Let's just do the housekeeping real quick. You follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. You follow this guy on Instagram, on Twitter at Sutton Def. Follow me on Instagram at simplyas10.prod and on Twitter at simplyas10. Most importantly, sponsor Manscaped. I want to go ahead and get somebody a nice little gift. Use code PRP for 20% off your whole order and the kicker, free shipping. Man, see, Manscaped doesn't miss, and they'll help you even when you get to the end. That shipping is the end. Unlike the Ravens, they don't want to help you out at the end, but Manscaped, they do help you out at the end. Yeah, you know why we're here. But before we get into it, just like the video real quick. It's all I'm asking for. It's liking the video. Happy New Year, I see Happy New Year. Not so happy Sunday Night Football for the Baltimore Ravens at all.
No. Like my guy Alex said, thank you guys so much for joining this episode of the Purple Pain, aka the Purple Rain podcast, episode 149. Make sure you guys go ahead and like that video. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. We'd appreciate it a whole lot. You know we got to do it. The moment of silence to like the video. We're going to take 5 seconds. Everybody watching right now, whether you're part of the live chat or if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, hello. Thank you guys so much for joining this episode. We're going to take 5 seconds. Like the video. Here we go. Yeah. So hopefully you liked the video by now. Thank you so much if you did. If you didn't, maybe consider hitting that like button, man. Please. Join the Rain Gang. We're a big happy family here.
Just had some PTSD from last night. Okay, cool. We're here.
Whew. Man, listen, last night was something. Let's go ahead and get right into it, man. You see the Rain Gang is in the chat. We're in full effect now. Happy New Year, guys. Sports Gaming YouTube is in here. Chike is in here. Let's see.
Sports Gaming was at the game last night, bro. He was the game.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry, dog.
It looked lit, but I'm just like losing that way to your arch nemesis rivals, having Najee Harris shush you, bro. I think this rivalry might be back, though. I'll be honest. I felt a pain and anger in me last night. I haven't felt in a while from the Steelers. That's maybe one. Yeah. I was like, yeah, we'll get into all that, but I'm glad people are feeling the same way. I mean, that right there, what a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good way to start it off. Let's go ahead and get into it now, man. I think that's a good way to start it off, though. I did see something last night out of the Steelers that I thought was promising for this rivalry going forward. I like seeing competitive games between the Ravens and Steelers. Of course, I like to see the Ravens come out on the winning side of it. Yeah. But last night, that fourth quarter that we saw from Kenny Pickett, specifically that last drive, that game-winning go-ahead drive, that was incredible. I'm not going to sit here and lie to anybody up here who's a Ravens fan, just like myself, you, Alex. I'm not going to lie. That was incredible. He did what he needed to do to put his team in position to win. And that's what you want out of your franchise, face of the team quarterback. That's what you want. So I can't be mad, at the Steelers. They played a hell of a game. It was a classic Ravens-Steelers game, to be honest with you. Low scoring, a lot of running the football. Not a whole lot of passing the football. I bet on Kenny Pickett's under for passing yards last night. That hit. But listen, it just was a classic rivalry game, and I can't be mad at the Steelers, but Kenny Pickett definitely did impress me.
Yeah, I mean, that's why he was a first-round pick. I thought we made him look better than he actually is for a rookie quarterback. If you've watched previous Steelers games, he made some outstanding throws that final drive. Same with Najee Harris. We made him look like the first-round running back that he is. He had never done that before, it felt like. Getting ran on 200 yards by the Steelers in that running game, bro, Their line had their career game last night.
Yeah.
Absolutely just ran. They pulled the Ravens. They ran through us. They controlled the time of possession, and we couldn't stop it. Everything that we did to them in Acrisure Field, they did to us. And we knew it was going to happen. They sold out the run. Cam Hayward saying that that final drive when we drove down on them, they felt that same way last night, and we knew it, and we still couldn't stop it. Coaching, once again, we beat ourselves.
Yep. And, nothing new there. But just, man, it was a rough game. It was a rough game. Just because you mentioned it on the last episode of the show, 20 points was the magic number we had to get to in order to win this game. And, I mean, that ended up being true. If we would have scored 20, we would have won the game. The struggles of this team to score 20 fucking points, excuse my language,
I feel
but like 20 points. I just feel like at some point you have to look at, like I said, I'm going to go back to Steve Bisciotti like I always do. At some point you have to see the product that your team is putting on the field and realize that it's not fucking working. We have not scored 20 points since November. It is January. We are in a new year. We have not put up 20 points since November. Let that sink in.
This was the easy
But on
part
the
of the
flip side, we haven't allowed 20 points since November. So here's my thing. I see a lot of people, and I'm gonna get to the super chat donation from our guy Raven Ron in just a second. But I see a lot of people talk about, the defense, they give up this many points in the fourth quarter, they break at the end of the game, this sort of thing. Stop putting the blame on the defense. Mike McDonald in his first year as a coordinator is shutting down teams. Less than 20 points. In 5 straight games? Since November, no one's put up 20 against the Ravens. We're one of the best teams on defense at points per game allowed. It's crazy. We just cannot put up the points to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why people are upset with the defense, considering how much resources and capital we put in there. But at some point, they were on the field for 34 minutes. We had me and you playing defensive back at points last night. And to be honest, we don't have the pass rush. Like, I don't know where it was. We were talking how great these edge rushers were, and they disappeared. They get the pressures, but they can't finish it. TJ Watt finished it last night. I think that's what's the difference between us and the Niners defense. They have an elite pass rusher in Nick Bosa. We don't. And that's why they can finish out games sometimes the way they do. But yeah, enough with the defense. I mean, I felt like they played a good enough game for us to win that. I'm going to go to the offense real quick. Pardon my language. How is it that Justice fucking Hill takes you to the fucking Steelers 40-yard line and you cannot muster 3 points out of that? 3 points. That right there, and I saw people that, they say, you're upset that Greg Roman didn't pass, that he's running. We want him to fucking adjust. That's what we're mad about. We'd be mad if he passed 30 times and kept nonstop running it. We want him to fucking adjust. And he just can't do it. And neither can John Harbaugh. I'm glad he finally took accountability for the first time in fucking 15 years. Like, I don't know what it took. Maybe this is like his saving cry to save his job. But the fact that he finally took accountability, and Gus Edwards 3 carries, Harbaugh's like that he needs to get more carries. My brother in Christ,
you are the head coach.
You can control the carries. You can control them. You can say, okay, well, no, I think you override any decision that any of the coaches below you make.
Right.
I got too frustrated too quick.
You're absolutely right about that. I was thinking the exact same thing in that third and fourth quarter. I was like, why is Gus Edwards not getting more run? I understand J.K. Dobbins having a hell of a game. I love J.K. Dobbins, love him to death. But we have that two-headed monster for a reason. Gus Edwards can also put the pressure on the defense, especially in the second half of a game when the defense is worn down. You know what I mean? You saw what they did to us with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren down the stretch. Why were we not incorporating Gus Edwards? Fight fire with fire. J.K. Dobbins was killing it. J.K. Dobbins had pretty much just as good as a game as Najee Harris had.
Talk about it.
Just as good as a game.
And they sold out the run. We didn't.
My goodness, man. It's frustrating. We're gonna get to the super chat donation from our guy Raven Ron. Thank you so much, bro. Let's take a deep breath, everybody. Just deep breath, exhale. Okay,
Oh,
Raven Ron, thank you
10.
so much for your super chat donation. Had to calm everybody down right there. It's high emotions right now. Emotions are very high. Let's see. Raven Ron says, how much of a pass, if any, does Huntley get being a backup? This man has a month with first team offense and finally found number one target, Andrews. Thank you so much for your super chat donation, Raven Ron. We appreciate you. Making it rain here on episode 149 of the Purple Pain, aka the Purple Rain podcast. Alex, what are you thinking about Raven Ron's comment here?
I mean, I think the passes are gone at this point. I think he's had more than enough time to adjust. He had a whole offseason, OTAs. I know he was with backups, but those backups included Isaiah Likely. They included, James Prochet doesn't get on the field, but Demarcus Robinson, who we have now, we have a completely different receiving core than we did in the offseason. But I made a video today speaking about it. Our wide receivers had 2 catches the whole game. Riddle me this. Does that win you a playoff game?
No.
Thank you. That's all I need to hear. If that happened, that is not winning football in 2022. We say it in the 60s and the 70s. Yeah, it probably wins you a game.
Yeah.
Absolutely not in 2022. There is no more passes, I think, for Huntley. The interception, I don't know who he was throwing to, missed a ton. And even Chris Collinsworth said it. I'm not trying to dog Huntley. I do like him, but he is a backup. He looks at his first read and he runs if it's not there. Every criticism against Lamar that they made, that's talking about Huntley. Lamar looks at his reads. He goes around. He actually runs last sometimes. So, yeah, there's no more passes on him anymore.
Yeah. Definitely no more passes, man, for me either. I mean, like I said on the last episode of the show, this is not his car. You know what I mean? He is renting this offense. You know what I mean? Like he's here for now, knowing that Lamar Jackson will be back. So he's not trying to take all the risks. He's literally going to that first read that they're telling him through his headset. And then if that's not there, he's gonna take off, you know. Now I can't say that for every single time. Because sometimes I think last night he did try to go through his progressions a little bit more. Didn't have a whole lot of rushing yards last night. Didn't take off and scramble too much. But it's just, I think it's a combination of the fact that Huntley is a little bit, gun shy, and then also the fact that we really just don't have a whole lot of separation at receiver. You saw that how much he was targeting Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews probably had how many targets? Damn near 10 targets last night.
I think it was 9 or 10. I think you're right around there.
Yeah. So, just with nobody else to throw to, not even a Devin Duvernay at this point, I can only blame Huntley but so much,
Yeah.
I think my biggest thing is if the run game is working, why not stick to that? Why not get Gus Edwards more involved in the game than he was? Like you said, only 2 to 3 carries last night. That's unacceptable, man. J.K. Dobbins, like I said, he's great, but it's supposed to be a 1-2 punch. If that's going to be our entire offense, utilize it. We don't have the passing game right now. We just don't. Until Lamar gets back and we get that X factor back that Lamar gives us on offense, we have to stick to our guns. We have to stick to what works right now. We have to run the football. We both talked about it as a key to victory last week.
And it just didn't work. And before we get into the super chats, talking about with Lamar coming back on the receivers, he has to be Superman, but he's been Superman the past 5 years. And I don't want to be that fan that thinks that the whole Ravens team is Lamar, but the whole Ravens offense honestly is now Lamar. He's the only way that we can win a playoff game. I really hate to say it. He's going to have to put up amazing stats, going to have to roll up the pocket, extend the play, probably find Sammy Watkins at the 50-yard line. It's going to be in the middle of the field, and Watkins is going to have to run because you know how it goes. But, that's the only way I think that we can win a playoff game. So we can get in super chats right now. But
all right, let's go ahead and get into these super chat donations. This one coming from our guy, Engraven Vids. What's going on, bro? Appreciate you for coming through. Thank you so much for the super chat donation. Making it rain here in episode 149 of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you, bro. It says $1 per catch for the Baltimore wide receivers. Love y'all. Hashtag Rain Gang. Yeah, man.
He was live during the game. I was live. I was heated. I felt my blood boiling watching the game. I could not be live watching it because I don't know what would happen. No.
Yeah. It was rough. It was definitely a tough watch last night for sure. Chike in the building. What's going on, Chike? Appreciate you for donating here. He says you also knew that that lot we're going to stop run by packing the line of scrimmage. It's not difficult, but how is it that TJ Watt is able to ghost the O line? Yeah, definitely giving Morgan Moses a hard time yesterday for sure. Even Pat Ricard too. He's just so TJ Watt he's different, man. He's X factor at that position, man. They have that, you know. I love the fact that Madden came out with the X factor feature because it really puts things into perspective. It really tells you like the difference between guys that are just guys and guys that are like X factor guys, if you know what I mean. And TJ Watt is one of those guys. So, yeah, man, hats off to him. What do you think?
The guy that keeps you up all night before the whole week. And that was on our defense. That was Marlon Humphrey because they did not want to sniff his way at all. At all. That was kind of one positive, guys. That Marlon Humphrey is him. So, trying to think of the positives.
Oh, man, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot of positives. I mean, and the thing is, like, we're in the playoffs, right? I mean, we clinched that last week, so we don't have to worry about, being in control of our own destiny, things like that, going into the last week of the season. We're in the playoffs. We're in the dance already. But the problem is, it's like a foregone conclusion right now that, like, we're going to get bounced out either in the wild card round or, maybe in the divisional round. It's just this team does not look like they're primed to make a playoff run. They just don't look like it right now. They're not peaking at the right time, nothing. And a lot of it has to do with, the franchise quarterback being out. But let me remind you guys, even when Lamar Jackson was in, the offense was still struggling. It was still struggling.
Panthers
so
Broncos
Panthers, I mean, I just don't know what the ceiling is for this team. Actually, I do know what the ceiling is for this team. I just don't know if they can surpass that ceiling, break through that ceiling, which is what you need to do in order to win a Super Bowl.
I mean, you bringing up playoffs I think it's realistic. That's just being real. That it's probably one and done, unfortunately. And there's so much talent on this team, mainly on the defense and on the line, not in the skill positions on offense. But I mean, that's the only way. And we're talking about an absolute masterclass on defense. It's like I'm talking probably 3 or 4 turnovers is minimum needed if you want to win a playoff game with this team on offense.
Yeah.
And that may sound like a lot, but that's what's needed.
That's where we are.
Yep.
Yeah. That's literally where we are right now. If the defense is not doing everything, then, I mean, we're probably not going to win the game. Running the ball is great. I think in that specific matchup last night against the Steelers, if we would have ran Gus Edwards and kind of balanced out the attack, especially in the second half between him and J.K. Dobbins, I feel like we would have had a better shot to win that game. Also, like you said, going back to Justice Hill getting that kick return, getting all the way out to damn near midfield, and us not being able to put up points, in the fourth quarter. I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes left at that point. If you cannot put up points, then you're not going to win. Listen, to quote the famous John Madden, he said once, you know what? I think the team that puts up the most points today is going to win the game. That was the greatest,
Legend.
Come on, legendary. Like, there's no better analyzation than that right there. And I mean, and that goes back to offense. You have to put up points. They say defense wins championships, but like, you have to put up points on offense to win games. And if we can't do that, then I just don't see how far we're going to get in the playoffs. We do have another Super Chat donation.
Yes.
This one is coming from What the Flock.
Absolute. So we have been talking through DMs, and he has been just absolute amazing insight. Obviously from Syracuse, New York, so not around the Baltimore area. He says, how much longer is Bisciotti going to run with Giro and tell us fans to suck it up? One and done with Giro in the playoffs. It's pathetic JV team. I mean, you bring up Bisciotti. I remember that he said he didn't want distractions. Bro, this whole team is a distraction right now. When you have Sunday Night Football having a little segment about Lamar and the contract, which I don't want to talk about a lot because I saw a comment saying, it's kind of run down, and I fully understand that. And then showing the offense with him and without him and how different. We're talking about, I think it was averaging 28 points per game with Lamar in, and then 17 or around then without
18,
him.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a problem. And with Giro, I think we can count the number of games left on one hand. I think this is his final couple of games because I just can't see them moving forward with him at all.
Yeah. I mean, and if it weren't if it wasn't to be his final couple of games here, and they did like re-up on his contract, and he was our offensive coordinator for next season, I would be seriously questioning one Steve Bisciotti, as I already kind of am. But like, if they choose to run it back another season with Roman as OC, knowing that this offense has had a very finite ceiling the past couple of years in his tenure here in Baltimore, I just question just what's the word here that I'm looking for? I question the interest, the genuine interest that Steve Bisciotti has in this franchise. Now, I haven't done all the research on Steve Bisciotti. I don't know what else he, is investing in. Obviously, he's a billionaire, multi-billionaire, has a lot of freaking money. I don't know what else he has interest in right now in life. And I don't know if the Ravens are just kind of like on the back burner. He's just kind of letting it go on autopilot, things like that. I mean, I may be talking on my ass. This guy could be working really, really hard behind the scenes for the Ravens. I'm sure he is. But at the same time, if you see something is not working, they say the definition of insanity is, failing time and time again, but doing the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? Like this, and expecting a different result. It's insanity. So I would genuinely question, like I said, how much Bisciotti really is in tune with this franchise and how much he wants him to win.
Sure? I have an answer. Okay.
Sure.
Jeff Zuribeck, I forget who asked the question today. Basically, all the coaches report to John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh reports to Bisciotti. With that being said, if he is reporting to me right now and I'm watching that product on the field last night in primetime television, I'm talking about a change. I really am. And I don't want to be that, radical fan saying, fire this guy, fire that guy. But we've been watching it. And I don't know how the YouTube algorithm is an amazing thing, because I posted a video in 2021 right after we lost to the Bills, and Steve Smith was calling out this offense, called it out multiple times. This was right after we lost, and people are commenting saying the algorithm brought me back here, which I think is an amazing thing. They're saying it's the same thing. They're saying an age like fine wine, just saying how it's just. Steve Smith said how he has a tablet and it's outdated. That's what the offense is outdated. He said, now I can see this through a Microsoft tablet, but imagine all the little the tools that the coaches have in the NFL. There's a reason why they're doing this well against the offense, because they can just see it. It's the same thing. It's been the same thing running since 2012. A lot has changed since 2012. The world was supposed to end December 21st, 2012. Greg Roman brought the same offense since then.
Oh my goodness, man. I remember the world was supposed to end in 2012. I was a senior in high school, and everything in life was just F it at that point. I was hoping the world did end. I mean, everybody came to school oh man, are you coming to school? The world's supposed to end. It was a crazy time. Crazy time. Like I said, I was a senior in high school. Goes to show you how old
now
I
it's
am.
just Greg Roman might be the end of the world, the offense. How times have changed.
Yeah. Anyways, I see a comment in here in the chat. Shout out to the live chat. Everybody's going crazy. Thank you for the super chat. What the flock. We appreciate you so much. Making it rain here on episode 149 of the Purple Rain podcast. We got 92 people watching live right now. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you're enjoying the content that you're listening to tonight, good morning, whatever, good night, whatever, whenever you're listening to this. Look, I see this comment by Gilbert. Gilbert, I love this comment right here. It says, cannot KO every opponent sometimes. It's going to be a fight. But the Ravens have no counterpunch. And
beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Gilbert.
Poetic.
You deserve the world and then some for that one. Love that.
Exactly. Because, I mean, the Ravens, they don't have... When I think of a counterpunch, I think of the Chiefs, right? If you hit the Chiefs with a touchdown, they can hit you back in just like that, in minutes, even without Tyreek Hill. They can get down the field. They can make things happen. Man, I love that comment. I love that comment by Gilbert, man. Appreciate you.
What did the Ravens do? On a potential game-winning drive, game-tying drive? Throw it to the middle of the field. Now, you know what? I'm going to say this. I didn't watch the All-22, didn't rewatch it, but I guarantee you they probably were taking out the sidelines, so I will revoke that. If they were taking out the sidelines, I get why you're throwing in the middle of the field. That's what they're giving you. With that being said, the lack of urgency, it kind of took 11 seconds to get to the line of scrimmage. Bro, chop. We don't have time. And it just feels like with these teams, there is no lack of urgency sometimes. It's just like a jog, not a full sprint, a jog. That's all I see. It's just... And with we have at times we could have KO'd teams. Falcons, we should have beat them by more than what we did.
Yeah,
100%. Just
totally.
didn't do it.
Just didn't do it. Just didn't do it. Another super chat donation here from What the Flock. Once again,
Oh,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much, bro. We appreciate you.
Thank
2 time, and it says, and
you.
how much longer does our head coach, quote unquote, continue to let Giro deviate from what's working? Harbs and Giro cannot be this stupid, can they? Something's wrong.
Just, I think about that press conference today, him saying that Gus Edwards needs more than 3 carries. Like I said,
Yeah.
you can change that. You have the authority to change that. This isn't the running backs coach telling Greg Roman, well, I think he deserves more. No, this is the head coach telling the offensive coordinator he needs more. You're above him. You can
Yeah. Yeah.
override it.
Be that guy. Be assertive. You know what I mean? Like, it's your team. I mean, we don't know exactly what the conversations are between John Harbaugh, who's, coaching on the field, and Greg Roman, who's upstairs in the booth. But at the end of the day, if you're in the press conference, like you said, saying that Gus Edwards needs more than 2 to 3 carries, that falls on you. It literally falls on you. Like, I, I mean,
My
you know what I
brother in
mean?
Christ. You can do
My
that.
brother in Christ. You're capable fully. You know what I mean? So, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. But thank you so much, What the Flock, for the second super chat donation of the night from you.
I think he's
Uh,
wearing the purple camo pants in that, and I respect you for that. If that's you wearing purple
yeah,
camo pants in that, respect, and you get a pair of them. Golly.
exactly. Let me see. Gerald is in the
G
house.
Money.
What's going
Good to
on,
see you.
Gerald? G Money's in the house. Good to see my guy, Gerald.
Happy
Our good brother in
freaking.
Christ. Our good brother in Christ. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for donating to the show, man. It says the Ravens has never overly invested in the offense, excluding Joe Flacco. My wishful thinking of the Ravens signing Lamar is over.
After he got his contract, they did not invest in him at all. They got him Steve Smith, and he was fire. Before that, they gave him a little bit, but even then, I mean, they rarely built around him. It felt like sometimes after the contract, they were giving him Dallas Clark and Brandon Stokely in 2013 and said, make something with it. After trading Anquan Bolden for a 6th-round pick.
Well,
Like,
I mean, that's where we're inevitably looking at for Lamar Jackson in the future for this.
yeah,
If the Ravens go ahead and they pay Lamar big money, which trust me, I hope they do. I really do hope that they do that. They pay him a lot of money. They're not going to be able to go out and make big splashes in free agency like they've been doing the past couple of seasons. Make these
splashes.
big important signings, especially not a wide receiver.
Yep.
So really, what we're relying on is 2 words: Rashad Bateman. That's who we're relying on,
Yeah.
right? Our first round draft pick from the other year, to really step up and develop into that wide receiver one, which we thought that he was going to do this year, but now we know that he is prone to getting hurt. I mean, I think that's kind of safe to say right now. I think it's kind of fair to say right now. I mean, we've seen a back-to-back season since he's been in the league. We just don't know where that's going. It's very the offense is in a very weird place. I will say that, in a very weird place right now. But yeah,
And
thank you
you
so much for your
talking
super chat
about
donation.
the splashes, like if we on a rookie contract, like I don't like being that fan, but I have to, bro. Look what the Eagles did for Jalen Hurts. Okay, cool. We're gonna get you Devonta Smith, 1st round, all right? But you know what? We're gonna get you AJ Brown, and we're gonna trade you a 1st round for that.
Yeah,
Like we could have had Hollywood and somebody else. Like we could have had Hollywood and D Hop in Baltimore. We could have. Now I know that they didn't want to trade in the conference. Cool. All right, Stephon Diggs, Vikings. I just don't get it. You have to trade for a top tier wide receiver. They're not going to sit there. Like, no team is going to let a really good player hit the free agency market. They're not.
yeah.
And we're just sitting there, just picking up the scraps, we're making a sandwich, and we're just, anything you got, we're just putting on the sandwich to eat. And now we got food poisoning.
I mean, talk about it, man. It sucks. I mean, we do have another super chat donation. This one coming from our guy Chike. Once again, thank you so
Thank you,
much, bro.
Chicky.
Says, would you take Josh McDaniels as a head coach, guys? Nah, no.
He can,
Haven't seen enough. He's had his chance.
He had it with the Broncos, and then with no.
Yeah,
No.
no. But yeah, man, it's really weird seeing how like the trajectory of this team has been eerily similar to the trajectory of this team last season. You know, and that's why I think a lot of Ravens fans, especially me included, last night when we lost, I was disappointed but not surprised. disappointed but not surprised. I could kind of see the game going in that direction, especially in the second half. I mean, we weren't able to put. I think we put up like 3 points total in the second half. I want to say.
Yeah, I think it was 13-3.5.
Yeah. So it was one of those games. It was shaping up to be one of those games.
It was 10-3.
You know,
I'm sorry, it was 10-3. Yeah, 10-3
at the half. Yeah. And Justin Tucker had a field goal in the second half, but it was shaping up to be one of those games, and it ended up being one of those games. And like I was really disappointed, but I wasn't surprised because this team just is not. They're not all together yet, and I haven't been watching a whole lot of like mainstream, sports analysts and things like that, because I know that nobody's talking about the Ravens right now, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I can't even be mad at them, And if they are talking about the Ravens, they're probably talking down on them, and I can't even be mad at them. Even at our big 10-5 record, 10-5, 10 wins, but really not too much to show for it, if you ask me.
No.
We don't really have too much to show for those 10 wins. I mean, yes, they're 10 wins, but were a lot of those wins convincing? No.
Give me your quality win. I think.
Give me the quality win.
Bengals was quality, I thought, but even then,
that was the last one probably. Yeah, and that was on the edge.
Yeah, I mean the Saints doesn't move me. The Bucks. I mean the Bucks was cool. I thought we could have done better, but I don't know. It took Bateman getting hurt for the offense to wake up. Who else? I mean, Jets, no. Patriots, even then there was questions.
Yeah.
The first Browns win, not really. We let Jacoby Brissett back in the game. Panthers, no. Broncos, no. First Steelers game, no. Maybe if I'll be generous, maybe the Bengals, Saints, Bucks 3, maybe. Let's be generous.
I mean, I agree there. I was thinking about something. I had something on my mind, Alex. This offense without Lamar Jackson, there's a lot less design QB runs, right? And there's been a drop off of points since the lack of those design QB runs. So I want to ask you this, and the rest of the Rain gang, do you guys think that the lack of those type of runs from Lamar Jackson is really what's separating our offense from scoring that 18 points a game to that 28 points a game, like you guys saw in the graphic last night?
That's a fair assessment. I mean, because it's another dimension you have to worry about.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think we weren't gonna run Tyler Huntley at the middle because last time he ran it up in the middle against the Steelers, he got a concussion.
Yeah, got smacked.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With Lamar, he goes down, and with Huntley is playing for a starting job somewhere, and that means giving it everything he has, which I respect. I respect the grit. I respect him wanting to be a starter, but it's not healthy. It's not safe. But yeah, I think it does. It makes a difference because you don't have to play for that option. That means that's one less guy, going for the ball if Lamar's back there because they got to spy him. They got to watch out for him. You don't got to spy Huntley, or if you do, it's not going to be the same caliber of athlete that's spying Lamar.
Right. Exactly. No, I love that answer. Another super chat donation. This one, the third one, 3 times, the hat trick from our guy. What the block? Oh my goodness, man! Thank you so much. Absolutely making it rain here. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, bro. Says side note, Sean Payton said he'd want to work with one QB, Lamar. Highly doubt he'll come here, 0%. But we need someone who will make Harbaugh uncomfortable. He's too old school and passes the buck constantly.
Yeah. We know Harbaugh is going to come back. I think that's a group consensus. As for the OC, I asked for one thing. I asked for Lamar to have a say in it because I think that is a huge step to keeping him here. And I asked for it to not be somebody that John Harbaugh is like that with. That's all I got for you.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think that Harbaugh and the rest of this coaching staff is given a lot of the credit for Lamar Jackson's success when really it should be the other way around. Lamar Jackson should be given the credit for a lot of this coaching staff success. Greg Roman and John Harbaugh. Everybody knows this. Before Lamar Jackson was drafted, Harbaugh was on the hot seat. There were rumors that Bisciotti was saying that if it wasn't a successful season, he might have been on the way out. They might have been talking about a changing head coaching position, those sort of things. Inject Lamar into the situation, into the scenario. Now Harbaugh is one of the best coaches in the league again. One of the most well-respected coaches in the league once again. So it is really an indictment on, like I said, Steve Bisciotti again. It kind of all falls back on him because he's the owner of the Baltimore Ravens. He's seen what has happened. He literally said, Harbaugh, if you don't get it done this year, and this was back in 2016, 2017, Harbaugh, if you don't get it done this year, then hey, we might be moving on. Get Lamar, things start going well. Now, a couple years later, here we are.
I think about it too. I mean, I think they've both been good for each other. I think Harbaugh has been very supporting of Lamar. I mean, for obvious reasons. I think that's huge for a young quarterback. I'll give him credit there. He's been like one of Lamar's biggest fans. I will give Harbaugh that credit there. I thought he had this team playing pretty good last year, even with when Lamar was in, and even with all the I words that was going around. We were 8-3. Eventually, we knew a collapse was coming. We didn't know that our quarterback was going to go down. And I can agree that, I think Lamar should be given more credit. But I think it was after the Bengals lost, after they beat us and knocked us out in 2017, that's when the reports came out. And Ozzie went and had him a generational draft in 2018. We're talking starter on starter. We're talking all pros. We're talking Pro Bowlers. We're talking trading the picks. We're talking everything. And he saved us. And, I mean, that was his last gift for us. That was our Christmas gift from him. And since then, I mean, I got for you.
Do you have another super chat donation? Fourth one. This is going to be his last of the night, but thank you so much, What the Flock, man. I mean, you really turned up on this episode.
Tore my heart.
Shout out to What the Flock, man. Says, and this will be my last of the night. We deeply need a number one wide receiver. My quote unquote fave move all time was drafting Perriman in 15. Wasn't even a fifth rounder, wasted pick.
Oh man. I thought even those were some weird drafts because I was not expecting us to get him.
Most definitely.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing I'm not I wanted us to get Dorial Green Beckham, and that wouldn't have worked out either. So it's a good thing I wasn't the GM. Yeah, it was. What a time those 2015. That was So, but thank you, What the Flock, for all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it, bro. All right. So, just kind of wrapping up, putting a nice little bow on this review of the Ravens and Steelers game. When it comes to like the playoff scenarios and whatnot, now the Steelers, they have to of course win next week. And who do they play? Do you know who they play?
Browns. I know how they get. Okay. I'm a such a generational hater. I know what they need. So I'm rooting.
What do they need? What do they need?
They need, I believe, the Jets to beat the Dolphins. They need the Bills to beat the Patriots, and they need to beat the Browns.
All very possible.
Yep, and that's what scares me.
Yeah, for sure. But to be honest with you, I would like to see the Steelers get in the playoffs. I would like to see it happen. I would like to see it. I want to see the Steelers versus either us or anybody else. I do know one thing though. I think since the Patriots beat the Dolphins yesterday, we can't get any lower than the 6th seed, which means that we don't have to play. Who is it? Probably like the Bills or whoever's the Bengals in the first round.
So no, the Bengals are probably gonna be the 3 seed. Well, tonight we'll find out.
Oh yeah,
we'll find out.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll find out tonight. Yeah.
It's basically, I think it's gonna be the Bengals, Bills, or Chiefs. One of those three. That's the big three. We've talked about the tiers of the AFC, and that's the top tier. That's the Super Bowl contenders. I'll personally say, this might be a hot take. I'd rather see the Bills than the Bengals.
Ooh.
I think if Josh Allen.
Would you rather hear?
Yeah, so I want you to stay with me. Maybe, like I said, I could be a hater. I think if you shut down Josh Allen, you shut down the Bills' offense. Compared to if you shut down Joe Burrow, he can get you with a slick 10-yard pass to Jamar, and Jamar's taking it to the crib. That's my biggest fear. With Diggs can route you up, but I like Marlon on Diggs. Those other guys, I mean, Josh Allen does have the overthrow in him, and we do have a ball hawk back there in Marcus Williams. But I would rather see the Bills, especially with the Bengals. That's personal. And that is anything can happen, and I don't like the Ravens in that. So I would rather see the Bills. They're a one-dimensional team. I mean, Joe Mixon, he's been doing his thing for the Bengals. So that's my hot take. And I think I know Jordan Poyer's playing tonight, but he's banged up. I think we can run all over the Bills, personally. I mean, they have a good team defense, but if Greg Roman was in his Duffy, I think we can maybe pull an upset. Maybe.
No, that's a really solid take, bro. That's a really solid take.
I thought about it driving home from work today. I was like, I'm still mad. That's how mad I was. I was no music playing, just thinking about sports. That's
I can only
one of those
imagine
drives.
that
You can hear
car
the turn signal clicking. That's how
right.
bad.
Oh my God. Man, that's funny. But yeah, I mean that's a good point though. I think that the Bengals, especially considering the fact that it's an in-division game too. I mean, they know us better, much better than the Buffalo Bills do. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I agree with that. So with that being said, I guess we're saying that we're rooting for the Bills to or the
I mean, as a fan, I'm rooting for the Bills to win tonight. I picked the Bengals. I did pick them. I think they'll win at home. But if the Bills win, that means maybe Lamar plays on Sunday. If the Bills win tonight means we see Lamar on Sunday, I am Bills Mafia. I'm jumping through a table.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. Like our guy Tony Houston says here, I agree with Simply. Yes, Simply spitting facts, per usual.
I try.
Um,
I see
all
Devon.
right.
He said does 13 points beat the Bills? No, it doesn't. I
Huh.
think that for that, I
Oh
mean,
goodness.
I think in the playoffs, 20 points is the magic number. You got to at least score 20. We did it against
I
the
mean,
Titans in
well,
2020.
13 points is not beating the Chargers. 13 points is not
No.
beating the Jaguars. You know what I mean? It's not beating none of those teams. So I don't even. We don't even need to talk about the Bills, Bengals. Like let's talk about the Jags, the Chargers, Titans, teams we might be playing. You know what I mean? Titans are still in it, right?
Yeah,
They're in
yeah.
it, right?
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah,
The
they're in it.
Josh Dobbs led
Yeah.
Titans.
Right. Yeah. So Cam is in here. What's going on?
Cam.
Cam says PRP,
What's going on?
hashtag purple rain pain, hashtag nothing new. Yeah, man. Nothing new
Shout
here,
out
man. Just
Cam.
more offensive struggles. And we're going to go ahead and we'll get into the last topic for this episode. Lamar Jackson. Let's end it off with this. Lamar Jackson and his kind of status right now. You see the title of the video. Lamar's price is going up again. It's going up again. And I think in the leverage battle, Lamar has a lot more leverage now than he did before. And when I say before, I mean before he got hurt. Because now you see that, and they showed it literally on TV last night. There's a 10-point decrease in the points per game that we score when he's in the game as opposed to when he's not in the game. You know?
Yeah.
So we need him. So I think that his price tag is going up. The question is, will they actually pony up the money for him, whether or not he plays for the rest of the season?
So, like I said before, I saw comments that the whole contract talk is like watered down, and I get that. There's no news, but
Sure.
this is from last game. As I'm right there with you, I was talking about this. I don't think the price, but the leverage, and you have a great point because you can't put any quarterback in this offense, and they're not going to win. I think Lamar playing last night, he would have won at the bank. 100% would have won.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that we need him a lot in this offense. As for the price, I think 40 to 45, just because I see what the top 4 quarterbacks are making, and those quarterbacks are not in a good spot, barring Aaron Rodgers, future Hall of Famer. But we're talking about Kyler, Watson, and Russell Wilson. What the hell are they doing this year? Didn't have a good year. And that's with targets around them. Lamar obviously has worse targets than all of those dudes. Look what he's doing. So yeah, the leverage point. He. If I'm Lamar, I'm like, yeah, you guys need me. What have you done since I've been gone? And honestly, even when he was in there, offense was still struggling. Which is why I say, if you really want him to stay here, you got to let him have a say on who the next play caller is, because that can be a huge point of him staying. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's a fabulous point. Again, simply spitting facts. How much does this team value Lamar Jackson? Period. That's the question that's on the table right now. How much does this team value what Lamar Jackson brings to uh, this organization? I mean, he brings a whole lot. I mean, you saw he took it from literally 0 to hero in 2018. The Ravens were dead in the water, brought him back. Next year, won MVP. Next year was the COVID year. The year after that, more struggles, injury things. Almost said the I word. Didn't complete it. Almost said it. Guys were hurt, inactive.
Yeah.
That's the other one. But how much does this team value him? Will they pay him in the offseason? That's the question. Steve Bisciotti, the ball's in your court, man. The ball's in your court. And I'll say this. I think I said this to somebody on Twitter or somebody in the YouTube comments the other day. We have, what's today, Alex? What's today? Today Monday?
Monday, January 2nd.
Today's Monday. Monday, January 2nd is the time that we are recording this video.
I know what you're about to say.
By Wednesday.
I knew it.
By Wednesday, January 4th, we will know whether or not Lamar Jackson will be playing for the rest of the season.
Yes.
We will know on Wednesday, because if he does not practice on Wednesday, then chances are he's probably not going to play. It's like a 90% chance he's not going to play. Exactly. So
curtains.
And if that happens, if he does not practice and he does not end up playing in this Week 18 matchup against the Bengals, which we know is an important ass matchup for seeding purposes, that should tell us all we need to know.
Yep. I think that's a fantastic point. I knew you were going to say, because I can't agree more. This is the judgment week, and Wednesday is judgment day. You better be there come around 2 to 3 o'clock when that practice report comes out, or when one of the beat writers says didn't spot Lamar Jackson or spotted Lamar Jackson on the field. Even if it's limited, it's a start. It's a start. I mean, I know that the one report was he was doing running. He hasn't done football moves yet, so maybe they've been doing that behind the scenes. But Judgment Day is in 2 days. Get ready. Have your popcorn.
2 days, man. And if you're Lamar Jackson, Lamar, and I'll say this, Lamar he's cool as a cucumber right now. I know you guys saw him on the sideline last night.
He's a little bit of a troll too. I love it.
The iridescent troll. I love it. The beanie, the hoodie over it, just like cool, like no problems, no worries, no worries. Man, he's got all the leverage. He's got the leverage. The shades that he wore last night tells you that he's got all the leverage in the world. I'm just saying. Look at the shade. If you didn't see him, go back and look. The shades he was wearing weren't the same shades that he was wearing against the Bengals after he had that big game a couple years ago in 2019. But those shades he was wearing last night, oh yeah, those told me everything I need to know. He's chilling. He's cool. Look at him. Look at him. Cool as a cucumber. A purple shade on the shades. Jesus Christ.
Face of a man that's about to get the bag.
About to get the bag. Exactly. Black Daniel says Lamar had the poosh iced tea on. LOL.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. Yeah. So over 100 people watching live right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. To end it off, we're gonna go ahead and get into some questions.
Yes. Yeah. Get those questions in, but it can be once again anything. Literally, not even about sports. Anything. It's funny because when they showed him on TV, I instantly made that my Twitter profile picture. I'm like, this dude is he's just chilling, and I respect it. I honestly respect it. So
yeah, me too. I gotta respect. I mean, he's done what he's needed to do for this organization. I don't think that this organization has done what they need to do to help him. So
there is one thing.
He's in a position where he's got it. Yeah.
And non Ravens talk here. There is some flex games, and we could be flexed to a 425 game next Sunday, depending with the whole Bengals game. But next Sunday Night Football, Packers Lions. Finally, Lions getting some damn love. It is about time. Oh my goodness! Like that, I'm so happy for the Lions. I hope they make the playoffs. I have no problem saying that. Oh,
man. I mean, I love what I'm seeing from the Lions, man. They had a really good showing yesterday. You've been on them all season too. I got to give you the credit. I got to give you the props, man, because you've been riding with them, and they've been actually doing their thing. I'm not gonna lie. Jared Goff had a good day. He's been good. He's been good.
Whenever I call him Jared Goofball, he balls out. So I'm gonna keep calling him Goofball. But yeah,
Goofball.
Yeah, I mean, their defense scares me, but it's gonna be a fun week 18. Kind of feels like a little WWE script. Sorry. Maybe I'm just calling it how it is.
The NFL does. I saw something on the was it Uber Facts? That Twitter account that gives you like a whole bunch of facts and whatnot.
Yeah.
They're like, since the NFL is like in the entertainment industry, they can absolutely rig games and whatnot and things like that. And I was just like, ooh.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. So We're going to go ahead
You're
and
a
get into some
liar.
questions, man. The question segment of the show. Go ahead and drop your questions down in the live chat. If you're not watching this live and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you guys so much for coming out to this episode 149 of the Purple Rain podcast. If you have not already, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with this question here. This one coming from Guacamole Enterprise Network. It says, do you think Lamar is requesting a change in the offense in order to come back for the playoffs? Requesting a change? Lamar really doesn't strike me as the type of guy to be like, hey, let's do this, that, and the third. You know, he's going to trust his coaching staff. The problem is, I think his coaching staff has kind of led him astray in the past couple of seasons. So to answer your question, no, I don't think he's going to be requesting a change. I don't think he's that type of guy.
Yeah, I don't think either. If anything, it'd be in the playoffs. I mean, in the off season. If Roman is to go, then like I said, the say comes in. I do see Raven Ron had a super chat he just mentioned. He said, "Say if Tampa Bay, say if Tom Brady is leaving the Bucks, would y'all give up a number 1 for Mike Evans?" Also, Lamar shades should have been green instead of purple. Pay him. Mike Evans, I think he is one of the most underrated receivers in history. This dude has put up 9 straight 1,000 seasons with Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, all these quarterbacks, not obviously Tom Brady, but he's just doing it no matter who's at quarterback. And that game yesterday just took it over. A 1 for him, I don't think I would. I prefer. I don't know.
How old is Mike Evans?
That's a good question. That man was playing college ball with Johnny Manziel, and now he's playing with.
So he's got to be. He's a vet for sure.
He's 29. Sure. He's younger than D-Hop. Younger than D-Hop.
Is he?
Yeah. I'll be honest. Thinking about it, him and Bateman, that wouldn't be too bad.
No, not too shabby at all.
I did see some. He is streaky, but that's a big body guy that he has that speed. Yeah. He'll push you off and he'll catch that thing too. I wouldn't hate it. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't hate it.
Definitely would not hate that. Definitely don't hate the super chat donation from Raven Ron. Thank you so much, bro. We appreciate you for coming through. Always supporting us. We appreciate that, bro. All right, let's see.
I'm kind of thinking about Mike Evans with the Ravens. Now, that'd be something.
Yeah. Me too.
Sure hands.
Mike Evans. Some people say Mike Evans is streaky for sure. If you've ever had Mike Evans in fantasy, you will know he is streaky. Yeah. But I think putting the right offensive system, if he's playing with a good quarterback, then hey, I think we can make it work.
Hey, he put up numbers with anybody at quarterback.
He has.
I mean, him and Godwin, him and Bateman. I mean, hey.
Let's see. This one is Tyler Brown says, I just got home and saw the notification. I'm here, but I'm going to watch it from the beginning with the versus the live, fellas. Love you guys and appreciate the hashtag
Love
Rain
you, Tyler.
Gang. Tyler, if you watched all the way to this point, you're part of the hashtag replay gang. Thank you so much, bro. We love you, man. We appreciate you. All right. Let's see. We'll take some more questions from you guys. I saw some more down here. Let me go ahead and pull these up. And sorry for missing your super chat originally, Raven Ron. I did not see it at first. That is my bad, bro. That's my bad. Killer X says, you think based on Harb's answers about Lamar, that Lamar is shutting it down for the playoffs or in the season, even though he can play? Yeah, because, Harbaugh came out today and he said, I don't know if he's going to practice this week.
Yep.
And it's just like, what, bro, why are you still holding the card so close to your chest? Like, is he going to play or not?
Yeah. But, Harbaugh is just so – he won't want to tell you. Even if Lamar could be 100%, I don't think he would tell you. I don't think he's shutting it down. I still have a slim bit of hope. But like you said, Wednesday is when we'll find out. So, Killer, we're 2 days away from when we'll find out if he's shutting it down. So, that's the best I can give you. That's the best.
Yeah, 2 days away. 2 days away. We will know in about 48 hours. We do have another super chat donation. This one's coming from our guy Savix. Savix in the house. What's going on, Savix? Thank you for donating to this episode. Says, yo, boys, honestly, I ain't too mad about us losing last night. Me neither, man. Me neither. Says, I feel like if we won last night, we would rush Lamar to come back for week 18.
I mean, I'm upset because I'm a hater. Like I said, I wanted to knock out the Steelers. They ruined playoffs in 2008. That Palomalu pick 6. I think I was crying for that one. Ruined my Christmas in 2016. They've ruined a lot, man. I just want to ruin their New Year's. Give give Mike Tomlin the first losing record. We couldn't even do that. That's why I'm happy. I mean, I'm upset,
Yeah.
but I think I want Lamar if he's healthy to play either way because I want to see him get some time before the playoffs. But only if he's healthy. If not, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. All right. This one coming from Engraven says, "Winner simply and sudden pop in the questions. Hashtag no pressure. Hashtag rain.
A lot of pressure.
Ring gang." It said a lot of pressure. A whole lot of pressure there. Engraven, you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. Luckily, Engraven, you're locked in with us. We're locked in with you. You know, Ravens community, YouTube. You know, well, yeah. Just stay tuned.
You would
stay
know.
Tuned.
You
We'll
would know, but there's
you
still
would
some
definitely
check marks.
know.
There's still
For
some
sure.
check marks. I got one of the check marks on. There's still a couple more I
Yeah.
have to do before any of that.
Yeah.
Stuff. So.
Yeah. And that one check mark, I'm gonna keep saying it. Our guy simply just graduated, man. Hats off to him again. We cannot let that go. We're not gonna sweep it under the rug, okay? It's not gonna fly under the radar.
I still gotta get my pictures, man.
All right?
Oh man. Thank you.
We're not letting that happen. But yeah, congratulations again. Thank you for your question.
I didn't tell you. I called God walking across the stage. I don't think I told you that.
Oh, did you?
I called God.
And nobody recorded that?
I have it recorded, but like it was so far away. I need to find the recording of like commencement on YouTube. I can't find it. They have it for every other one, but not mine. So like it was a really good shot too. But hopefully I can find it. I have a video, but it's pretty blurry.
All right, let's see. Another question coming from Unpopular Facts here says, "What do y'all think about Harbaugh knows no offensive plays and is marrying himself to Roman scheme because it almost bested him in 2012, 2013 under his brother's leadership?" That's interesting.
That's an unpopular. You're asking the tough questions. I'll tell you that right now.
For sure.
You would think, I mean, if he knew plays, you would think he would have put, like, going back to what he said today, having Gus on the field more. You would think he would call for that. I mean, as fans, I know that we can tell if a player's not on the field, but as a coach, I would think if it's as little as 3, you would have to at least understand that he's not on the field that much, or you see him on the sideline or something. Because, and as for him besting him, they were down 28-3 and needed the power go out. I don't understand how you see that, and you had him shut down in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You had him shut down, and you've hired him. Oh, that gives me a headache. I need ibuprofen.
You mean every time somebody brings up the lights going out in that Super Bowl, I always think about like conspiracy theories and how all this crap is rigged and whatnot. I mean, we just got done talking about that like 10 minutes ago, but I don't want to really bring it back up. But like, what are the chances that the lights go out at the Super Bowl? All the Monday night games, Sunday night games, Thursday night games in the season, none of the at the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess maybe to be fair, you're using more power, more electricity for the Super Bowl. I mean, Beyonce did perform that year. I understand, but at the Super Bowl, you just don't. I can't fathom
the Super Bowl at the Superdome and the lights go out.
We talking about? Oh my God! Not practice. Not. You know what I mean? Like.
But you know what's crazy? I can remember like what I did that day. It's like that's like one of the days I know I'll never forget. It's just the Super Bowl.
I'll never forget.
You can't forget. Like it's just the smallest things I remember, and I just want that feeling again. I would kill for that feeling, especially with Lamar winning it. How even like Calais going out on top, a couple of guys going out on top, Zeitler going out on top. I'd love that. We need that.
I would love that, man. That would be nice. That would be really nice. Let's see. Marco G here with another super chat donation. Appreciate you, Marco. We appreciate that so much. Says it ain't pretty, it's not perfect, but it's mediocrity. Should be the Ravens' new motto. Wild card contenders versus Super Bowl contenders. Big difference. Yeah. Right now, I mean, the Ravens are looking like nothing short of pretenders right now. We're not contenders. We're pretenders. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. We're pretenders. This offense, like I said, hasn't put up 20 points since November. Hasn't put up 30 since I can't even remember when. I can't even remember.
I think
it's ridiculous.
I think it was the Patriots game. And you said September. I think it was Patriots game.
Yeah, September, bro.
Oh, a lot of things weren't. There was a lot of a lot's happened since
fall last time we put up 30 points. It was fall. We're in like the thick of winter now. You know what I mean? We were wearing shorts, like you said. We were wearing shorts the last time the Ravens put up 30 points. And I can't even think about wearing shorts outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. A lot's happened since then. I'll tell you that.
Maybe
We've had a whole World Cup come and go. No 30 points.
No 30 points.
World Cup feels like it was a year ago, and it was only like a month ago. Wow.
Yep. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and end it with this question right here from KLA Sports. All right, KLA Sports. It's been a while
Purple
since
Rain
we've seen you,
Pioneer.
bro. Purple Rain Pioneer at its finest. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well in school. Says, if we got to draft a wide receiver, who would y'all want? Realistically, I like Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee or Josh Downs. I don't see us getting Addison. And now, KLA.
Hyatt was good. Hyatt's good.
Now you know us here at the Purple Rain podcast. We don't follow college all that much until it's time for the draft, this offseason and whatnot. Simply, I'm not going to speak for you. I know you said that before. Me, I'm still the same way. I don't focus on college football too much during the NFL season because I like to stay locked into the NFL season. So when the offseason does happen, KLA, come back through, give us the knowledge. Still give us the knowledge, man. You used to be in my DMs, man. What happened, man? DM me with these players. Like you got to keep me updated, man. You got to keep me updated. I was relying on you for a minute, but I know you're busy now. I appreciate you for coming through.
I watch a little bit more college football this year, but I know I watch mainly SEC. I did watch that Jalen Hyatt had a career game against Bama out of all of them. Dude lit up Bama like insane. I can see a receiver I don't want to see it. He went to the same college as Patrick Queen, Keyshawn Butte. I do not want him. Probably first or second round talent. That's probably gonna come back and bite me. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Hyatt. I mean Marvin Harrison Jr. is a dog, but we're not gonna get him at all. But honestly, I mean, for first round, I think receiver, defensive back, or receiver or defensive back for first round for me. Maybe.
Okay. I like that.
Could throw edge in there now. Who knows? Who knows what's going with the edge? Who knows?
Yeah, man, I can't even fathom talking about draft stuff, who we're gonna get in the draft. I saw somebody post a mock draft today for the Ravens, and I was just like, is the season over already?
I mean, I like that time of the year because it's warm out, but I don't like it because it's just what are we talking about today? Oh well, this guy had a meeting, and this guy, and then it's crazy because guys who we think are gonna go in the third round could be first rounders, it could be seventh rounders within the span of a month or so. It's crazy.
You're right. But you know what? You bring up the off season and how in the off season we're kind of clinging to topics and we're trying to just find things to, entertain you guys with. But what we really, what we really appreciate is the entire Rain gang and all you guys showing up throughout the off season. Even when football is not getting played at all. Thank you guys so much for, just being a part of this family. I mean, we love you guys. The OTAs.
They're in shorts and shirts, and we're sitting here this guy's
analyzing things, breaking it down. This guy. Exactly. Did you see that release? Did you see how hard he hit that tackle dummy? You know what I mean? That's what we're doing, and you guys are just eating it up, and we love you guys for that, man. We love
talk about undrafted free agents that don't even sniff the roster.
Right. Yeah. Remember Shamar Bridges? You know what I mean?
And he's back with the Ravens. I'm happy about that. I wish he would.
Right.
I was a big Jalen Moore guy. I think he's with Jacksonville right now, or Jacksonville or the Giants, one of the two. Yeah.
All right. Let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and end it with this. Right. We still got over 100 people watching live right now.
And got the likes. Ooh. 63 likes. 63. Thank you.
63 likes. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate that. Rain Gang is in full effect tonight. Thank you so much. If you join the family for the first time, the Rain Gang family for the first time tonight, you hit that like button or you hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys. Special shout out to you. We appreciate that. And we'll see you in the next episode. But listen, before we get out of here, we got one more thing, Alex. I can't forget about this. Monday Night Football. Right? We got to get into our Purple Rain Parlay segment.
I'm not that guy. I'm not doing good. I am not doing good. You hit big. I'm not the guy anymore. I'm telling you this right now. Don't. Tyreek Hill. Bro, Carson Wentz. What does he do? What does he do? You please. If you're gonna let Terry McLaurin get 25 yards in a must-win game, send him to Baltimore. Send him. Because you obviously don't want to use him. You have Jahan Dotson.
Wait, McLaurin didn't have 25?
He had 20. He had 25 exactly. That's it.
Oh,
In a must-win game.
wow. That's
Ron Rivera, that say bye to your job.
he's got to be on the outs. Yeah, he's
And
got to be on the outs. And I was actually my dad is actually a Commanders fan, huge Commanders fan. He was just telling me before we went live just now. He was like saying how he wants Sam Howell to start. He was like, since the Commanders are already out of the playoffs, why not just throw Howell in there and see what he's got?
Game experience.
Why not at this point? Against the Cowboys.
What is there to lose?
So, yeah, nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. But let's see for tonight's game. Yeah, tonight's game.
Yeah, there's one thing I would stay away from is I saw somebody talk about like the Chase and Diggs anytime. They haven't really been touchdown heavy a lot recently.
Yeah.
I would look, if anything, maybe towards a Higgins or a Gabe Davis or a McKenzie. That's just look at them more so the big guys. Everybody looks at the big guys, but Josh Allen loves his 2s and 3s, and so does Burrow. I mean, they're always going to get their shots.
I'm going to give you a long shot play for tonight. I'm going to give you a long shot player prop. This one should get you plus money, regardless of where you're betting at. Give me an anytime touchdown for Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox. Give me an anytime touchdown for Dawson Knox. I think that he's been targeted a lot recently. Last week, I think he had the second most in target shares from the Bills. He was either second or first, one of those. I see him getting to the end zone tonight. I see them getting close to the red zone, and then, Allen just throwing it on a rope to, Dawson Knox, and that's what I see happening. So give me a Dawson Knox anytime touchdown. Cash that ticket. If it hits, man, give me my props. Just come back here in the comment section.
Get a drink for Sutton. There you go. See, we're at the end of the bar. So you can get us a drink, End of the bar. Just a couple of end of the bar fans, that's where we are.
Just slide it down. Exactly.
Like one of those commercials that you see, and it never falls over. Come on now. Never falls over. Just perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and leave it there, guys. Raven Ron says bet the over 50.5. I think that's a pretty decent bet too.
I'm going to do that. That's going to be the only thing I do because I just miss everything else. So I'm just going to do the over. There we go.
Yeah. End of the bar gang in the chat. I love it.
Just a couple of end of the bar fans talking,
I love it.
End of the bar.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out to this episode 149 of the Purple Rain podcast. A couple housekeeping things to clean up here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sutton Def, like you see down below. You can follow this guy over here on Twitter at SimplyAs10 or on Instagram at SimplyAs10.prod. You can find us, the collab, the joint Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast, like you see there. And then most importantly, our sponsor, Manscaped. It's after Christmas now. I know you got the gift cards. I know you got the Christmas money. I know you forgot to give somebody a Christmas gift. Happens every year, right? You can go on manscaped.com, use our code PRP, you get 20% off. And like Alex said at the very top of the show, he said, hey, the shipping is what always gets you. You're going through, you're in your cart, right? You're thinking you got this one price in your head the whole entire time. You hit continue to shipping, continue to check out, and boom, an extra $8. Boom, an extra $11.
I got hooked up with some Manscaped boxers for Christmas, and oh boy, come on! If you're a man, come on.
If you're a man, let's come on, let's do it.
Very comfortable.
Use our code PRP, 20% off, free shipping. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out to this episode. One more thing, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new before you get out of here. And with that being said, I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out.
Thank you for coming through episode 149. Man, next one is 150. Wow. Of the Purple Pain podcast. And as always, stay positive, test negative. One more thing.
And never, ever, ever forget to call God. This has been episode 149 of the Purple Rain podcast. We're going to catch you guys in the next one.